With your host, Sally Mayweather. Yeah. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Let's go. Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. With your host, Sally Mayweather.
Let's go.
Guys. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum episode 33. How we all doing?
Fire, doing great. What's up, guys? Good to see you.
All right, got the music turned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed that jam that I composed myself with my own brain. Just kidding. Obviously, it was the AI song that I prompted. But yes, we are back. Adam. Irish Adam Gaming in the house.
Irish Adam. Unfortunately, our fearless leader Sal is off to Europe, so we're missing him, unfortunately. But we got a good story for you guys today. We have Rafael, also known as the Crypto Vigilante, and Alex, from Free Knots.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So yeah, Sally Mayweather, your host with the most, who you're used to seeing right now on your screen, is currently on a plane headed to Amsterdam, right?
I think that's where he's starting. Yeah,
he's got an incredible schedule the next few weeks, which we'll talk about. But we have the honor and privilege of holding down the fort. Of course, the co-host with the most, Irish Adam. Along with myself now getting a little more comfortable in front of the camera, usually behind the scenes. But I had to call in my good pal, my go-to crypto expert, Rafael LaVerde, who we worked together in the past with the Crypto Vigilante. I should have thrown on my TCV shirt. I got my Bitcoin Citadel shirt. But it should be a good show. We're holding it down as co-hosts, fill-in hosts or whatever. for while Sal is on his way to go fight the good fight and advocate for freeing Roger Ver. Free Roger Ver, freerogernow.org.
Yeah,
If you haven't signed that petition, go ahead and get that done right now. We'll wait. But yeah, it's going to be a great conversation, Adam. Anyway, what's going on with you? Cheers, Slancha.
Cheers, boys.
I say it wrong, right? But
I'm Slancha.
Cheers, bro.
Slancha. Salud, salud.
Salud.
Let's go. So yeah, let's get everybody trolling in. We've got a bunch to talk about. Great show. We do have an interview. Sal is not going to miss the show completely. He did an interview with Aaron Day, who was our guest a couple months ago, who you all probably are familiar with, Aaron Day, but they talked about some good stuff. I actually haven't even watched it yet. Sal just kind of briefed me a little bit, but we're all going to digest it together. So Aaron Day is going to be the special featured interview that we've got coming up a little bit later on that Sal spoke with just yesterday. I think it was their conversation. So looking forward to that. But what else is good, Adam?
Not a lot. Just a little hungover today myself, you know. Went out for a few drinks with Sal, and he had to leave. Obviously, the early flight today. I kept up the good fight till about 3 a.m. this morning. So, you know, recovering. But
Nice.
we soldier on.
Good to hear. You guys go ahead and post your comments in the Twitter or wherever you're watching. We've got the, what's it called? Super chats on xmrchat.com/Sal. That will immediately get your comment on the screen unfiltered. I've got no control the way we've got it set up. Actually, do we have it set up for this? Oh, it might not be for today. We've got some last minute, change ups, obviously, as you can see. Of course, let me just go over to, I don't want to neglect bringing Raph into the conversation. So he's kind enough to actually step in and hang out with us for the whole show tonight. So doing things a little bit different tonight. We're trying to make Sal proud. But yeah, GM to our friends in the comments. Go ahead and post any questions you have. If you don't know who Crypto Vigilante are, it's a team that Rafael started with Jeff Berwick way back in the days. They are the premier crypto membership that you can get all the crypto insights that you would really need from everything, obviously, like technical analysis stuff that people want to know about for trading, but really the important stuff, fundamental analysis, and then operational security, right? Like all the, how do you actually maneuver the crypto landscape without tripping yourself up? Because so Raph, he's a known person on, Twitter, on the whole crypto space. You've probably seen him at speak at conferences if you've ever been to a crypto event. But there's been a lot going on lately that Raph and I have been discussing that is always interesting to watch when the crypto community is fighting with each other over things, and sometimes it's dumb and sometimes it's pretty significant. So Adam, of course, you guys know, is sort of the non-political, non-crypto guy who really rounds out the show by allowing us to kind of bring things down to ground level,
normal,
and not get too far into the weeds.
to normal, to things people can understand. Yeah, thank you, Adam.
I feel like
bring us back down to earth, bro.
Since starting this podcast, I've learned a lot, and what's funny is I am an anarchist without knowing it this whole time. Pretty much, I agree with basically everything that we talk about on here, and it was just a case of really not realizing it, but just logically it made sense to me, so
yeah, amen. So actually, why don't we get into that right away with Raph? Why don't you tell us your sort of story for those who maybe are not familiar with you? I don't think we've ever really done this where like I'm interviewing you. Like we're like pretty good friends for years now. And I know your story, but I imagine that there's a lot of people who don't. So why don't you just kind of briefly tell the audience who you are, and then a little bit about Crypto Vigilante.
So I fell in love with Bitcoin in 2012. I was studying Austrian economics with a group at the University of Texas called the Mises Circle. A lot of OG Bitcoiners that are now very famous and important people in the space were part of that group, including, for example, the girl who passed away that was the founder of Cointelegraph. So shout out to Cointelegraph. Uh, uh, Michael Goldstein, Pierre Rochard, who's a big influence in BTC right now. He is one of the reasons why Michael Saylor got into Bitcoin. So I got into Bitcoin with these guys, as we were studying Austrian economics. Also, the emperor of Bitcoin himself, the father of Bitcoin maximalism, and also the father of hyper Bitcoinization, Daniel Krawitz. Jimmy Song was amongst us. Like, we had a real cool vibe, real cool team. And I looked up to Jeff because Jeff Berwick, it was someone who was like a lone wolf out there speaking and preaching the good news of freedom that they don't teach you about in mainstream. And I met him at a conference in Florida at a Miami event for. I remember Vitalik had his first presentation on Ethereum, and after that presentation, Jeff and I got to know one another. And Jeff, the friendship kept going, and we thought about creating the Bitcoin Vigilante, the Crypto Vigilante, and then I went off to do other things in crypto. I went to work in Wall Street for a while. I was part of the BitAngels Network, one of the first founding members of the BitAngels Network, where we source capital for all of the early Bitcoin startups and crypto startups. And then from there, I've always been very focused on this idea, which is it's important in order for crypto and Bitcoin to thrive. You really have to educate the people. So the technology is not really in the machines themselves, but in our minds. And so if we educate people on these technologies, you're growing the capacity of these technologies themselves, because these technologies require for us as individuals to really embrace them. And in order to embrace them, you really have to know how to use these technologies. So like you said, at the Crypto Vigilante, we focus on the, I like to say, the what, when, and how. The what, when, and how. What is this technology? What are these blockchains? What is the difference between all of these networks? What do they offer? That is the what. The when is the technical analysis. When do I buy? When do I sell? That's a very important question for anyone that wants to preserve value or make money. So we are very fortunate to have on our team the crew that first charted Bitcoin in Bitcoin talk forums in 2010. So these guys, a lot of Bitcoin OGs may remember the name of Bull Bear Analytics, or the Bitcoin Bull Bear was their original name. Well, that is who our TA is. So the Bitcoin Bull Bear Analytics is the Crypto Vigilante on the TA front. And so we have an eclectic group of analysts at TCV, where we come to everything from an Austrian economics perspective, and we engage crypto from that perspective that allows us to have almost like X-ray vision, because when you understand Austrian economics, you realize that the economy is something that is P2P in its nature. The economy is all about voluntary exchange, and Bitcoin was created for that world, to augment our natural human nature. So it's something that we champion. It's the backbone of everything we do. And what makes us extremely special is that we also focus on precious metals, bonds, just the overall market. And we have in our team Jeff Berwick and Ed Bugos, who focus on gold and silver. So these guys are like in my opinion, the most badass analysts in the world when it comes to precious metals and the overall market from an Austrian perspective. So having that perspective in mind, having them as the backbone of our team, it allows us to focus on crypto in a very direct way, where once you make money in crypto, the next step is like, what do I do with all of this wealth? Well, you have a team that can give you a wider perspective regarding the rest of the market. So it really is a labor of love. We're all Bitcoin OGs, crypto OGs, and we are driven by an advocacy for teaching people the value of these technologies. Alex, you're still with us? You're still with me? I don't see you guys.
I'm always here, bro. Yeah, we're just trying to give you the spotlight. Oh, look at me. I'm in the spotlight now.
So
How
yeah,
does this work?
pretty much what we are and what we offer the market is just that take that, because it's crazy to me how like we were blessed that we started the Crypto Vigilante in a time when there was no AI. And now, anyone that you see, any commercial that you see on the internet, you have to ask yourself, who is that person? Is that even a real person? Can I trust them? And the cool thing about us is that we created a reputation of people who are independent thinkers before AI. Because now, if anyone wants to like be an influencer at this level, where you are, going into deep research on what matters most, which is like how cutting edge technology that empowers the individual. Well, you need to be a trustworthy person, and so someone that the world can hold accountable, right? Someone who has a reputation, and so we're blessed to have been started at a time where there was no AI. So we carry that. I carry that almost as a big responsibility because we are the last. We are my team. I consider myself and our team as like the last generation of Austrian economic analysts that have embraced crypto in the world. Because, and you know what, if you really think about it, are there any other crypto analysts that come from that pedigree of like the Austrian school who are talking about crypto? I don't see anyone else. So I carry that responsibility on my shoulders. Like I really honor I really honor the place that people have given us in their minds and their hearts, because I know that we carry a lot of responsibility on our shoulders. We really do. Um, and so it's just an honor to be part of that. And we look forward to cultivating that more into the future, and to lend our social capital per se to those people who we know can be trusted into the future, right? So it's we're very mission driven in that regard, and it's something that we talk about preserving capital and making money, but then the most important thing for me personally is advocacy. So it's kind of drawing the fine line between like this is advocacy here and this is making money, right? And so it's and there's some people come to us because they're very interested in the advocacy aspect of things. Others just are here to make money. And so to teach people how to embrace these technologies in a way where they can personalize these technologies, I think that is of a lot of value, and something that people need, to have that buffet of technology and how to embrace these technologies, um, and then be able to accommodate and personalize those technologies in their own personal life. So the what is, what are we talking about? The when to buy, and then the how is operational security, something that we're very big on, which is like, how do I actually protect myself on the internet with these technologies? So it's that right there is, in my opinion, my personal favorite aspect of what we do is the OPSEC aspect of what we do. So that's the Crypto Vigilante in a nutshell, guys. And you can sign up for the free newsletter at cryptovigilante.io.
If this was a Twitter Spaces, I would do the clap audio sound effect right now. I need to figure out how to get a soundboard.
You put me on the spot, bro. I wasn't expecting that.
That was fire, yo. Clip that. We're gonna post that as a whole segment. Good shit. Adam, what's your response?
Yeah, I mean, like with crypto up until more recently for me, I wasn't in crypto. I always saw it as, I mean, they make it seem like it's just a get rich quick scheme, but the more I've looked at it, it's truly a way to kind of free yourself from the government. Essentially, your tax dollars are going to God only knows where, for war and whatever else. That's not something you signed up for. And these private coins especially, they give you a way out of that, another way to you know not be a part of this shitty system. So But the side effect is there is a lot of you can make money with it, and that's great. It's just an extra little side effect of it,
Yeah. The
you
issue
know.
is when the side effect becomes the main focus, right?
Yeah,
And then it totally flips the whole thing from what it was designed and intended to
right.
be. And now we're like, yay, bankster coins and CBDCs and stuff. And all of this is good for crypto. And it's like, it's great because it used to be a meme. We would respond to anything with this is good for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And if it was bad, then it would be like Bitcoin fixes this, right? And so that's actually the little post that we put out in promotion of this episode because Sal's been big into all the foreign policy bullshit that's going on with all the Middle Eastern conflicts and bombings and babies dying, and it's awful. And I think about we're always talking about free Roger Ver, and he was like, man, what a compelling voice for how crypto and Bitcoin can actually like really improve the world, right? Because he was the guy who was like breaking down in tears, talking about how more babies will die if this is prolonged longer and longer. Like you guys don't realize, like, and it's like libertarians, yeah, we can make the connection. It's like fix the money, fix the world, like but what's the in between process? And now it's yeah, it's a big casino and Trump coin and Hawk-Tua. And
I
so,
would
yeah,
say I would say that that's still good for Bitcoin, that's still good for crypto. So this is like where education comes in. You have to realize that the world is going to want to join these technologies, and anyone can join these technologies. They're open source. The question now is, now that we have all this infusion of capital coming in, nation states and corporations embracing Bitcoin, if you really think about it, it's not like we're losing power. No, the people have the upper hand. Why? Because these technologies are inherently to be person to person, P to P, and what the central planners want, and what banksters want, and what a fintech and big tech want is they want to continue being the middleman between every transaction, whether it be data or whether it be a financial transaction. And since they want to be the middleman, that is their Achilles heel, right? They always want to take a cut, and because they're there and they want to take that cut, that actually works against their bottom line long term, because anytime they approximate crypto or they embrace Bitcoin, they're actually they're becoming the I forget the term, but the horse, the show horse that you put out before the real horse. That's what they're doing. And so that only means that as people embrace these technologies, they're going to discover that they have superpowers for the individual, for us, P2P. And no matter what happens, we're always going to be able to provide and serve each other. Whereas they positioning themselves as the middleman, they will always be working against their own self-interest in a way, because they're not embraced. By their nature, they cannot embrace the fullness of these technologies, whereas the rest of the world can. And I think that's something that needs to be emphasized. And the only way to like bridge that gap is with education.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like they see it as a business, you know. I have a perfect example where this is an issue just using, the dollar. Having moved from Ireland to the States, I still had money in an Irish account. I still had some bills to pay back home. I was trying to send myself money. I had to pay like the change currency and then a transaction fee to send myself money through the same account. Like it was ridiculous. And something like crypto would have alleviated that problem.
Yeah,
No
100%. Yeah, this extends really to every aspect of our lives now that everything is becoming digital. So so I'm driven by the advocacy of it, right? Because if we don't educate people to really, embrace these technologies in the way that is most beneficial for them, then you always have these middlemen, these companies, this PayPal, this MasterCard. And as the longer you have these companies around, the more that it is to their benefit that you are ignorant and that you are demoralized and feel helpless to do anything about this situation. But the reality is that these technologies are there for all of us to cook and make money in ways that they can't. See, that's the thing. Our business model, P2P, will always be more profitable for us than the P to business to P, which is what they're always trying to sell you with the second layer. So we always have the upper hand, and we will always have the upper hand. I was just talking to you, Alex, about this last night. Remember, we're
Yeah,
having this conversation, and
it was a
you
great
were saying,
conversation at like 3 in the morning.
yeah, and you were saying, and what I was trying to explain to you was like, no matter what happens, let's say you have BlackRock buying Bitcoin, you have all of these, you have Michael Saylor, you have Wall Street buying Bitcoin. They still lack um, the incentive structure within them to fully embrace these technologies. Making all they're doing is infusing us with validation and capital for us to just create, and so they won't be able to compete with what the grassroots crypto native people will be creating. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand that? Like, and this is like something forever. It's set up that way, and I think that was a genius of these technologies, is that they won't be able to compete with the efficiency, the speed, and the privacy and the ownership and the security that you can have when you interact directly within a blockchain. They'll never be able to compete with that. Although they're struggling to. That's really what's happening. They're struggling to compete, to remain relevant. That's the whole thing that's happening with Saylor. That's everything that's happening with the government embracing Bitcoin and crypto. They're just trying to remain relevant. But we live in a moment in time now where what's relevant is Bitcoin. What's relevant is what is done with it, with a blockchain. And if you're not on top, if you're not at the top of that, you're no longer relevant. Does that make sense? Because like any
Yeah.
entrepreneur at this moment in time can grab the best of blockchains and create something viral that can outcompete MasterCard and Visa. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people listening to this, but the mechanics are there, the ingredients are there. You just got to create the recipes and run with them.
Dude, I love listening to you because it gets me every time excited about, like just as I ever was, and I have been very passionate about crypto and its potential to change the world. And you're one of those people who, has championed that loudest and proudest and, and the best. But my issue is still like, we'll get into it more after we watch this Aaron Day interview, because I'm sure they're going to get into it, and we're going to want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that they, that it ties all back in. But you said the ingredients are all there, and I'm like, yes, but arguably the ingredients have been there for like 10 years, and the powers that shouldn't be have done a pretty damn good job of keeping those ingredients freaking sugar coated and poisoned and whatever you want to analogy. So it's like freaking when, dude, I want hyper Bitcoinization tomorrow, today,
Because
tonight.
that's exactly their game plan is.
Well, they're
is
getting
to,
scared now. They're feeling their hold slipping.
Exactly.
That's why they're trying to crack down on people like, Roger, and, because they're proving that this works, the leaders on this, and yeah, they can't have that. The government don't want that happening. Too many people are listening.
Yeah. So before we go into that interview, I do want to ask Raph a question. Instead of just shouting out the sponsors, I actually don't know what his answer is going to be. We've never personally talked about this coin, really. It might have come up briefly, but Sal loves Xano. You might have seen him promoting it as the solution to all the world's problems. That's quite of a statement. I don't know if that's verbatim, but no, it's his favorite coin, as he says lately, right? So shout out to Xano because they support the show. So it's important for shows like this to be supported. But I understand it to be Sal got me to make a wallet. Obviously, we're big privacy coin advocates, so of course, like Monero, is a long time favorite, a classic. But the coolest, interesting thing appeal to from when I hear about Zano is like, oh, it's like Monero plus Ethereum, right? It's like smart contracts and all that stuff you can like build things with and do tokens and XYZ, like you can do with Solana and all these other things. But it's all privacy by default. So I haven't really dug deep into it, but I'm curious to know, Rafael, if it's something that your team has explored and what your take is.
100%. I got into Zano. We got into Zano like 2-3 years ago. I interviewed their top dev, who was the only person that still is in conversations with the founder, the creator of the crypto note protocol, Nicholas van Saberhagen, who gave us Monero essentially. So yeah, we've been following and been championing Zano for the longest time. Way before this past year that Zano became really popular. Just go to the Crypto Vigilante YouTube and you'll see that it's been like over 2 years, almost 3 years that I interviewed them. So yeah, no, we like Zano. I think that this is a very rational step in crypto history, and it's good to see that the privacy world is expanding beyond just tokens, beyond just using it as digital cash like pirate chain like Monero, but rather that now we're talking about creating having token protocols running on the blockchain. I think that's important.
I told Sal, bro, why don't you make a meme coin? Because I think Adam said it like live on the show last week or whatever. He's like, I would buy a Sal meme coin. I'm like, bro, because Sal's been saying you can make tokens and meme coins on Zano, and I'm like, why don't you? I'll hit him up after the show. I was like, bro, why don't we do it? He's like, nah, and I'm like, I know. It's like it's so scammy feeling immediately, right? But no, there's interesting things that you can do. It's all about coming up with utility and designing something to not be a rug. Which those are hard to find, right?
Yeah, sure is.
Because inherently it's just like
Well, I mean,
almost by nature, it's like just buy this thing and sell it later. So there's always losers. But hey, that's the casino game.
That's what they want all crypto to seem like it's just a scam and it's no real use. Don't use it. Just use the dollar. Yeah, you're safe with the dollar. That's what they've been
safe and cozy.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, get cozy because we're about to run this interview. I think now is a good time for us to kick back and listen to the conversation that just recently took place between our host Sal and Aaron Day. Raf, you've interviewed Aaron Day. While I get this video queued up, Can you give him a quick little introduction for the audience, even though we'll probably see that in the beginning of the interview?
I mean, Aaron is a person who has been championing freedom for many years. He's a warrior. That's the best way to put it. He's a warrior, and he was very much involved in the Bitcoin Civil War as well. He was a big blocker and also always a privacy advocate as well. He ran for government. He ran for president of the United States, actually, in this last election. He was a candidate to be president of the U.S., and it was because of him in writing his book on CBDCs that what's the name of the Indian guy who was very close to Trump? Skinny guy. Vivek. He gave Vivek his book, and he taught Vivek about the dangers of CBDCs, and that's what really created a platform around Trump for the Trump administration to be against CBDCs. So I think that's very commendable, and I'm really happy. I can't wait to hear this interview.
Damn, that's awesome. I didn't even realize that about Aaron. He is a freaking badass. All right, let's do it. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Enjoy, everybody. Here we go. Let's see.
All right. The one and only Aaron Day. Thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
We have a lot to discuss because there's been a lot of news in the Xano ecosystem. I don't even know where to start, honestly. XanoX.io is a new sort of project this month that sort of debuted where you can buy gift cards using Xano. And, one more step towards retail adoption. You have that WooCommerce plugin, which looks pretty cool, which sort of fills a gap because it really wasn't possible to accept Xano in like an e-commerce setting prior to that. No?
No, there was no way to do it. And in fact, a lot of people were waiting for now payments to integrate Xano, which was pretty far along in the process. And then because of these rules in the EU, they decided to back out of privacy coins. So this is a way for anybody with, WooCommerce to but it's pretty helpful to be able to because there are like 8 million installs of WooCommerce. So hopefully this will help with adoption in a big way. I'll tell you, I hadn't heard of XanoX. That's actually news to me. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
When did that even launch?
It's actually really, it was just this month. It's pretty cool because now you can buy gift cards and stuff, which, look, the WooCommerce plugin, it sort of sucks in crypto because we've been playing this gift card game forever, but the WooCommerce plugin is sort of one step towards direct retail adoption. There's also the Freedom Dollar, which is another sort of step in the same direction because now, one of the biggest obstacles for merchants, one of the biggest causes for the reluctance is the volatility of cryptocurrency. So now they're able to convert into Freedom Dollars, which, it's not, personally, I've always felt that a coin whose value is tied to the whims of a central banker is by definition unstable. But, I understand a lot of merchants want to hold dollars. So, it just filled a hole in the market.
Well, yeah, a lot of merchants, I mean, this is why I'm doing the gold-backed token as well. They actually want to move away from fiat altogether. But I think an algorithmic stablecoin it's going to be good to have a wide range of options, right, I think, for people.
No doubt. No, I'm with you though. I think the gold-backed stablecoin is better. The only trouble that you run into in something like that is there's the time-tested issue with gold has always been confiscability. You know what I mean? So, there's gives and takes no matter which way you go. But that's the thing. No matter what the state does, we will be there with an alternative option. If the merchants want stable coins in dollars, we have that, and if not, they can have it in gold.
Yeah, we're going to need to have multiple versions of these things. But I thought it was great that the stable coin launched, and I was giving it away, and I will integrate it. It's one of the other things I'm doing is I'm building a point of sale system. So the plugin was just one piece of it. But we're missing point of sale systems entirely for crypto. I mean, BitPay was captured, so they don't do anything related to privacy, and this has happened with all of the other point of sale systems, or they've been run out by the feds, which is what happened with AnyPay. So we actually do not have an easy to use point of sale system that accepts multiple privacy coins right now. There isn't such.
Oh, I know.
And if you're trying to onboard new merchants, this is actually my hang up for launching the gold-backed token, because I viewed it's basically a swapping function where the merchant wants to be able to take multiple cryptocurrencies, but they only want to be paid in the gold token or say a stable coin. And so I was really planning on using one of the existing point of sale systems and a swapping service to use that to get the coin into circulation. And when now payments fell through, I realized, well, in order for this to really work, I'm just going to have to build a point of sale system. It wasn't my intention to have to build one. all I want to do is promote these things and be successful in the marketplace. So the only time I would build something is if no one else is building it and it's absolutely necessary. So that's kind of where I fell out on that.
Well, the Freedom Dollar, FUSD, is, to my knowledge, it's the first privacy-backed stablecoin. I don't know. Are there other stable coins that are run on privacy chains? I don't think there are.
Not that I'm aware of, and certainly not. I mean, the great thing about this is you can, even though it's a privacy coin, you can actually see, because it's using auditable wallets, you can actually see what's backing. You can see the circulation of the coin itself, and you can see what's actually backing it. So it has a lot of remarkable firsts with it, and so it's actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the first.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not going to want to wade into this. I mean, you need to do it in this kind of an algorithmic fashion, because the government is targeting algorithmic stablecoins specifically. In fact, there's a stable bill and a genius bill going through Congress right now. Both are anti-stable coins, but the stable bill in particular puts a 2-year moratorium, makes any stable coins illegal for 2 years. So they are going after, it's not just privacy stable coins, they're going after any stable
You mean
coin, any
Tether?
stable coin. Well, there are carve-outs.
Of course.
My opinion on this is that the whole purpose of the legislation is to structure a situation where basically JP Morgan or somebody has to buy Tether, and somebody has to buy Circle, and that's a large federally regulated financial institution, because that's what they put in there in terms of the barriers. You have to be this kind of institution, you have to be subject to these kinds of audit requirements, so on and so forth. So I think my whole point of the whole time is that stablecoins are backdoor CBDCs, and they're using this legislation to basically corral USDC and Tether into large financial institutions. And now, so unfortunately, I'm getting really pissed off seeing everybody celebrate that, oh, there's going to be $330 billion of liquidity and everything else. It's like you're cheering on CBDCs. Europe is looking to launch, the EU is looking to launch a CBDC in October of this year. Well, this basically is just, now it's an arms race as to who can get there sooner. And basically the Trump administration is saying, well, our CBDC will be there faster because we're basically going to co-opt the existing stable coins that already have momentum and use in the marketplace. And so people are cheering this like it's some kind of freedom play, and it's not a freedom play. All CBDCs are now accelerating in development. And so it's not a great situation. So having a privacy stablecoin alternative is exactly what we need. And hopefully people will understand this sooner rather than later and start moving into it, instead of, thinking that, Tether or USDC are safe, because they're not. I mean, these coins get seized and frozen all of the time. So these are not viable alternatives. You need something that's actually resistant and private. So this, to my knowledge, is FUSD is the only game in town.
So you essentially, guys, you're not going to have a choice but to move into FUSD, because they're co-opting, as Aaron just said, these existing stable coins. And Rothbard said that when they sort of heavily regulate in industry, let's call it stable coins for the sake of the conversation, what they essentially do is they cartelize the market by creating these barriers to entry, so that only a handful of players are able to access market share, which I guess in this case would be whatever, Tether, Circle, and maybe one or two others, but they're essentially cartelizing the stablecoin market, which, of course, like the Freedom Dollar can bypass that, but what it can't bypass is the devaluation of the dollar, and that's only something like a gold-backed stablecoin, or something along those lines, something based on a market commodity rather than fiat currency, could provide complete protection from the state.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Although from my perspective, I mean, I like playing around with the stablecoin, but I think Xano's going to do pretty well. So I don't even want to.
Right.
I like where Xano's going anyway. So I don't want to hold anything in stables anyway. But
right.
but that's just a personal opinion.
I'm with you 100%. I'd rather go with the value of Zano than the value of obviously the USD, but even I think Zano will be probably even do better than gold in the future. Other news real quick, Ascend EX has now listed Zano. You can withdraw without having to access KYC. Same thing on Trade Ogre. So that is another development in the Zano ecosystem. I saw on your screen back there, you had the confidential layer.
Yeah.
What is Clone?
Clone is a token for confidential layer. I honestly don't know much about it. I don't hold any of it. So I'm not going to be well versed in speaking about that. But I know that the way confidential layer works is there are like 60 or something nodes, so nobody holds any private key when you're essentially locking your Bitcoin or whatever the other coin is. And I think that this coin is just used to incentivize people in the ecosystem for actually doing the bridging. But I couldn't speak to any of the mechanics of it or economics of it at all.
Right. So there's clone and there's bridge, and I'm not entirely certain either. I know that there's a clone airdrop on May 13th, I believe, or something like that. And that's your last chance to get involved. I think if you go to the Zano X account, they will have more information about bridge, where I think if you complete a certain number of tasks, and I'll make sure it's in the show notes for this episode, guys. But if you complete a certain number of tasks by a certain date, you qualify for X amount of like an airdrop from Bridge. So yeah, lots going on. Did I miss anything? Any other news in Zano that I should know about?
Zano Bay.
Oh yes. How did I miss that one?
So that's a good one. So now we have a
That's
CFP
huge.
marketplace that is huge. So I put my book up there, and that's going to be a great opportunity and way for people to do trade. It's kind of Silk Road, except on Zano, but not
Exactly.
for illegal products. So that launched, and I think that's great because with all of these things, once you have either FUSD or you have your bridged Bitcoin or whatever in the confidential layer, you're still going to need places to be able to spend those things. So between a marketplace and a point of sale system, and then getting these plugins working with WooCommerce and everything else, hopefully we can start to create an ecosystem where people are going to have to spend less time dealing with any kind of exchange, and people can just start to begin to trade amongst themselves through these
Natively.
various mechanisms. And that's what I'm the most excited about, because right now I'm giving a talk in Amsterdam. Actually, somehow I'm giving 2 talks on 2 panels, and so one of them I'm going to actually be highlighting these Zano developments. And so I'm glad you told me about Zano X, because I got to put that in the presentation now and actually want to play around with it. This is really exciting because I've been using Monero with CakePay. That's how I've been buying gift certificates. But now that I see this, if I can actually buy these gift certificates, I'm seeing this. There's a lot of overlap here. So Uber Eats. So I'm going to be in Amsterdam. They have Uber Eats, so I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna buy a gift certificate with Zano. This is perfect. I'm very excited about this.
And
yeah,
I will be at the same conference. This will be our last Zoom meeting before we meet in person. And I think I'm speaking about crypto anarchism and agorism. I'm also on a panel with you and Joel about Roger's case. And as well, I think I'm on another panel now about like cypherpunks and privacy. So if you're in Amsterdam, guys, we're going to be there, ETHDAM, May 9th through 11th. It's going to be a good time. We'll have to, get dinner or something, man. It's about time we meet face to face,
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm still fasting, so I'm not breaking my fast till 1:30 in the morning, technically on May 10th. So
okay.
I'm looking forward to that, by the way. It's getting a little old now. I'm on day 37, so It's
That's
rough.
right. Tell me about you're doing a 40-day fast to raise attention for Roger Vere's case, and you haven't eaten
Yeah,
anything in how long?
37 days.
My God, man. I give you credit. How does it feel? How are you feeling?
I mean, the first 21 days are actually good. I actually had a period of time for like a week where I got 6 months worth of work done. The last week has actually been kind of hellish. And usually when you're fasting, once you are fully in ketosis and everything, you're not hungry. But actually, starting yesterday, I'm actually hungry. So that's a different
Beast.
component to it. So I'm not even sure why that's happening, because I shouldn't be hungry. I should be fully still in ketosis. But I feel like my IQ's down by 30 points. So I'm looking forward to actually refeeding, because at this point I'm not productive. Like I'm working on this point of sale system. If I can do 10 minutes worth of work, then I have to stop and like lay down for a while. So we're at the point past diminishing returns, and I definitely want to hit the milestone, and it will bring. I actually have a whole bunch of interviews lined up, and I've actually told people I'm doing this one, but I've actually stopped doing other interviews just because I don't have my normal energy level. So
Oh, you're the man. We appreciate that. So Saturday, so that's Saturday the 10th is your last day?
well, it's 1:30 in the morning.
Okay. So
Pretty early there. So I'm actually at the point where right now I'm figuring out how to buy garage. I got an apartment hotel thing, and because you have to be really careful when you refeed. If you eat I don't eat sugar anyway, but if I ate sugar breaking a fast, you could die. If you actually don't refeed properly, it's bad news. So I've got an apartment, I've got a stove, I'm putting, bone broth and a whole bunch of other stuff in my shopping cart so that I can have it delivered. And I may go live when
oh
I break the
yeah,
fast. I don't know.
that would be
I
cool.
haven't. So,
That would
so
be
yeah, so that'll be
cool
1:30 morning. That'll be Saturday morning
in Amsterdam.
in Amsterdam, 1:30.
Okay. Okay. And what? So you make yourself a meal and then it's back to regular eating, or it takes you a little while to get into your normal diet, whatever you were eating previously.
Well, I mean, I'll change up my diet, but it'll probably take 2 days. It's going to be, bone broth with vegetables, and then maybe I'll add and sauerkraut to repopulate gut bacteria. I'll do that for a day or so, then maybe introduce eggs. But probably by day 2 or so, I'll be ready to eat
Okay.
a meal, an actual
Well,
reasonable meal.
offer stands, maybe maybe Monday morning or Sunday night. I can buy you dinner or breakfast or whatever if you're feeling up to it. But I commend you for the fast. I'm telling you, like the modern day Gandhi. That's really what it is. That's what Gandhi did to draw attention to the maltreatment of the British, and that's what you're doing for the war on crypto. So as far as I'm concerned, you're a hero for doing it.
Well, I appreciate that. I just hope it works. It's frustrating to me. I honestly thought that Roger would have his thing resolved before this fast was done. So the fact that it's still going on and now it's pushed out to like June the 23rd, his hearing and everything. It's just it's hard to try to raise awareness. There's so much noise going on everywhere about just random crap, and the stuff that actually gets attention is not, in my opinion at least, important. But what does draw all the noise is all of this other stuff. And so how do you take a situation like Rogers, which is somewhat complex, and actually get people to focus attention on it? So I hoped this would do something, but I mean, whether it does or whether it doesn't, we still need to keep up the pressure, because I don't know how Pam Bondi's got a lot of stuff on her desk. None of it seems to be going anywhere. I don't know how we get this to the top of the pile so that, something actually happens.
Pam Bondi is useless as tits on a bowl. She can't even. She's been sitting on a list of pedophiles for I don't even know how long at this point, weeks, more than a month. So useless as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, Rogers' case got postponed until the 23rd of June, guys. That's in LA. If you can be there, show up. If you're available, we want to put as much pressure on these people as possible. Of course, freerogernow.org to sign the petition. Yeah, I was also hoping that this was going to get resolved by now. I'm still confident, though, that this will be thrown out before long.
Yeah, no, I'm confident too. It's just it's the, how much more of his life are they going to take
Ruin.
away and
I,
and halt with this, right? I mean, there's and a lot of other things seem to be going faster. A lot of other crypto things have been resolved, and so I'm optimistic overall. It's just the sooner the better, because
yeah.
we need Roger back, and Roger needs his life back.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Every day he's occupied with his own persecution is a moment that he can't spend, building the tools that we need, for financial sovereignty, which is what he's good at. So yeah, fingers crossed that gets taken care of soon. What else here? That's basically all I had to go over with you, man. Is there anything you want to throw in here before we wrap it up?
No, just that I recommend that people really look into Zano and start using it. I mean, it's not even as much about buying it as it is, download a wallet and start playing around with it. Start playing around with these tools, Zano Bay, and just use the wallet itself and buy, create an asset. It's really easy to do. It's inexpensive, and get out of these existing systems and centralized exchanges and everything else, because we do not have a lot of time. Like people, when I started doing all this stuff, people were worried about the election happening. Now people not realizing that CBDCs are now coming faster. They're going to try to pass the Genius bill in the Senate like this week, I think. And so we're going to have this stablecoin legislation probably by August or September, which means that's a backdoor CBDC.
Right.
And the EU is now trying to ban privacy coins. So, I mean, the writing is on the wall here. So now we have to really focus on, oh, is this going to go up? And I'm going to buy this and sit on it and hope it goes up. This is about, we need to start using these tools to engage in day-to-day trade completely outside of the system, completely in a way that can't be tracked. And so, like, it's not something to wait on. And the tools are now there. The tools are now there to do this. We have all the building blocks in place, which is we hadn't had. When I first started working with Zano and playing around with it, I mean, they just had the mobile wallet and you could create a token, but that wasn't even fully working right with everything else. And that was just a year ago. And in a year, all of these things have happened. We have all these wallets, Bitcoin.com and Cake, and all of these new tools. And so this is actually stuff that is live and functioning. So now it's up to us to figure out how to use it and get adoption going.
So I don't know if you saw the meme that I posted of Tankman at the Tiananmen Square with the CBDCs versus Zano, but that meme did pretty well. I'll make sure we show that on the air for you guys when Aaron and I wrap up. But actually, the mobile wallet has so many features in it, and a lot of these features are now being transferred to the desktop version. Iconic swaps, where you can swap. I can trade you directly P2P from the wallet. I don't know if it's Zano only or if I can trade Zano for something else, but you can do P2P iconic swaps. There is an encrypted messenger service built into the wallet app, as well as a decentralized exchange. I mean, you name it, it's a very versatile wallet, and a lot of those features are now moving to desktop. It's a matter of time until other wallets expand and adopt the same ones. Very useful, a shit ton of utility for libertarians and agorists to use. This is probably the most effective tool in our arsenal at this point. Zano.
Yep, I would say hands down. One other thing we forgot, there's also an private NFT platform called Obscura.
Yes.
So there's yeah, we're gonna have to like now I mean, now I've got to keep a running list of this. I mean, before it was like, okay, well, we've got this and one or two things, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to actually keep tabs on this. There's so many different things, but to be able to have private NFTs, which you can use that for gaining entry to events, and there's a lot of things. It's not just here's
all kinds of stuff,
GIFs that we're gonna tokenize and trade. There's actually a lot of interesting applications and things that you can do with these private NFTs. So that's just another thing that's launched as well.
one of the things that one of the ideas I've kicked around for a while, but I could never find an appropriate blockchain for is, I always had this idea of like a DAO where, it's sort of based on providing bail relief to agorists, which would essentially lower the risk calculation for people engaging in counter-economic activity. So if they knew their bail was going to be covered, more and more people would be likely to step outside the system. So my idea was, let's create a DAO, and Ian Freeman gets in trouble for some nonsense, then we could fund his bail, we could fund his legal team, stuff like that, and only token holders would get to vote on that. But I haven't been able to find a blockchain that I thought was sufficient. But I think Zano sort of checks all of the boxes here. So just another. There's just so much room to grow here, guys. That if you're a developer or if you are just an agorist, a cypherpunk, a crypto anarchist, this is the chain. This is the chain to get involved with. It's, last time we were speaking, I had mentioned that Zano makes me feel like the old days of crypto again. And it really does. It really does. I feel like it's 2013 in Bitcoin all over again,
Same. It's exactly the same. I haven't had this amount of energy and enthusiasm and even more applications, because it's not even just here's an alternative monetary system. It's the ability to tokenize all of the other non-monetary assets. So in a way, it's a bigger opportunity and more exciting. I just hope we can get people to understand the sense of urgency around it, because we are facing, on the other hand, people that are now cheering on these centralized tokenization systems. And a lot of these are liberty people. And I'm sure some of it is out of just financial self-interest and looking at the fiat gains. A lot of it's just out of ignorance. A lot of it is just that there's a lot of, like, I was at a Free State event and everybody's excited today about the fact that New Hampshire just passed the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve for New Hampshire. And I'm just like, I don't know how we got here. I'm at Liberty Forum, the event where Roger introduced a lot of these people to Bitcoin to begin with, and they're having talks about a Bitcoin strategic reserve. So Ian, who introduced Roger to Bitcoin, and Roger, who introduced everybody else to Bitcoin, Ian's in prison, Roger's facing 109 years, and these guys are celebrating as a big win the fact that we're using civil asset forfeiture and wanting to use taxpayer theft at the national level and at the state level to pump their surveillance Bitcoin bags. It's very frustrating to see that.
Yeah, and a lot of this shit with the maxis, they're celebrating, like, it's the whole thing. It's just, it's, again, the state will try to co-opt every movement that it can. Any movement that it views as a threat, it will try to co-opt. But we will continue advancing. And that's the thing about Zano, is that it's the culmination of our efforts to guard against that. But you talk about the sense of urgency. Once they pass those stablecoin bills and people realize that Tether, and all those other, coins are sort of just tools of the financial industrial complex, then you're going to see a sort of flood into privacy coins. I'm telling you right now, the only thing I'm putting money into at this point is basically Zano, but I have privacy coins in general, privacy technology in general, because I expect the war on crypto to ramp up, and CBDCs are just a part of that. People think Trump is, great for crypto. I did a space with Joel and Dash about, how do we grade Trump's performance on crypto? And I was in the minority. It was like me and Kurt Ruckert who said that he was bad for crypto. Everybody else thought he was great. So once he puts out these CBDCs, we'll see if their opinions change,
Yeah, no, I mean, he has been bad. I wish, that's the kind of conversation this is that thing that Joel, I couldn't make it for that. Sometimes I'm feeling so tired on this fast, but he's been horrible for it, right? So what's legal? Meme coins are illegal, but you still can't buy tokens or equity you can't use security tokens without all of this onerous stuff. and people have to read the stable and genius bills. If you don't want to read it, just throw it through AI. It's all KYC AML. It's all tracking and anti-money laundering and stuff. So there's like what is the win? I mean, that people are trying to use the state to buy Bitcoin, that Trump himself has launched meme coins or this world. People should be able to do whatever they want, but there is a certain degree where if you are president and you're using, your platform and, taxpayer money to promote your scam project, that's probably not a great
Right.
example to be leading with. And there are people buying into this. The world financial thing is a scam. I mean, these things are, they're pathetic projects. I mean, you might as well have, Jake Paul or whoever some of these other influencers are pushing these
Hawk
things.
Tour girl.
The Hawk Tour, it's actually worse. I would say it's the same, except it's worse because it's actually on a bigger scale, and it's completely protected. There's no accountability for it whatsoever, and so people are being duped into meme coins. So this is one of the things that I want to say is that, people are celebrating. Well, stable coins are about adoption, or these meme coins are about adoption. Well, the adoption of what? The adoption of Ponzi schemes, the adoption of surveillance currency. That's not adoption, right? You can't say, well, people are doing the thing that's 180 degrees away from the thing that we're trying to do, but at least they're doing the absolute wrong thing. That means there's adoption. That's a ridiculous argument. And this is the argument that people seem to be making over and over again. We need to be adopting the things that actually promote freedom and promote privacy. And these other things are not substitutes for it, or even entree points to, you're not going to go from buying Melania coin to moving into Zano. That's not like an adoption path. And so
Two different people, though. Like the people buying Melania coin are just trying to get rich quick. The people in Zano are the ones actually trying to change the world and use tools to create freedom in their own lives. So, it's like, like you said last time, Trump will let the Hawk Tour girl rug pull all of her, Instagram followers. But Ian Freeman and Roger Ver get persecuted. You know what I mean? So how benevolent is he in regards to cryptocurrency? I would say none whatsoever. Even if your goal is to pump bags, he's been bad for that as well, right? Crypto's been down. So yeah, I don't know. It's the point has never been, let's try to get the state to acquiesce to our financial tools. The point has always been to create financial tools that the state cannot acquiesce to. Like, the idea is not to get them on board, but to shove them off the side of the boat, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing here. Like, I think a lot of people lose focus when they see their wallet is up, 5% or 10% or something like that. They sort of get excited and they forget about the original point of what we're doing here. So let's not lose focus is the only thing I'm trying to say here.
Yep.
All right, man, let's wrap it up. We got about 5 minutes left, but if there's anything you want to promote or tell anybody about, by the way, one real quick, you're on day 37.
Yeah.
Okay, so when this airs, we're talking on Tuesday. Tomorrow, you actually, when the audience is watching this, guys, he'll actually be on day 38 of the fast. Again, literally the modern day Gandhi of our time. Aaron Day, I appreciate you, man. What do you want to tell them about?
Nothing other than what we've already talked about. I mean, I'm at daylightfreedom.org. You can check that out, and I have information there about CBDCs and my book and different things, workshops that may be coming up. There's a section there on the 40-day fast to raise awareness to Roger's situation. I have a new version of my book coming out. In fact, it's already available on Xanobay. It's the only place you can get it. It's an updated version. I updated the book to have a specific focus on privacy, which I didn't have 2 years ago when I wrote the initial version. And other than that, I have Karma and point of sale system coming up, but there's nothing more to say about that. The only other thing I would say is I really encourage people to come to PorcFest, which I think is June the 16th through the 22nd. And there's going to be a big privacy-focused tent there for the entire week. It's the biggest tent. I'm co-sponsoring it with Doug Tuman and Moneratopia, but we're going to have a ton of talks related to Zano. In fact, Zano and Confidential Layer are two of the biggest sponsors. So it's going to be not only a lot of talks, but just hands-on applications and use. And this is where I'm going to roll out, a crude version of my point of sale system so that people can actually buy things using Zano at PorcFest. Usually there are a couple thousand people there. So I'm hoping this, you mentioned before 2013 energy. I hope we bring the kind of the Roger 2000. And I hope we actually bring Roger himself back to PorcFest. So I encourage everybody to if you can make it, come to PorcFest, because you're going to be able to really experience this stuff hands-on, and some of the Zano team is going to be there, and so it's going to be a lot of fun.
So last time we spoke, real quick, I don't need to keep dragging this on, but real quick, last time we spoke, we had spoken about PorcFest, and I went to go book my tickets and whatnot, and you have to have a site, but I'm not sure there are any sites available on the PorcFest or on the website for Rogers Campground. It says all sites are booked. And so I said, all right, I'll go to Airbnb. I'll book an Airbnb. The nearest Airbnb is like, because it's a pretty rural spot. So I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do. So I have to get up there somehow, one way or another.
Yeah, I mean, I would try Airbnb or Vrbo, VRBO.
Vrbo? Okay.
Yeah, that I think that's where we've ended up booking from. Although we're still like 10 miles out. It is true that there aren't a lot of great options like immediately close by. So you might have to drive.
I can't believe all the sites are booked. Rogers is a huge campground.
I'm surprised about that too.
I've never seen the whole place booked up like that. I've even the times when I've been there back in the day when it was, a shit ton of people, there was still like the last 2 rows of the campground area were sort of a little bit less full. But that's what the website says. Give them a call. I haven't called them yet. I should do that now when we get done here. But that's what the website.
Is that what Rogers said, or what the PorcFest said?
So if you go to the website for Rogers Campground, it says on the homepage like all PorcFest sites are booked or something along those lines.
Wow. Okay.
Which is honestly shocking. I call them to double check, guys. I don't want to give you false information because that doesn't sound right to me, but that's what it said. So yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that. I'll ping the organizer and actually confirm that.
Yeah, and I will I'll check out Vrbo. So you're 10 miles out?
Yeah, 10 miles out or 10 or 15 minutes out. I can't remember which one it is. We're way over somewhere else. I come up with my wife, and then my son, and then my daughter will come for part of it. So they're twins. They're going to be turning 15. So
nice. And
then another friend of mine comes in. So we usually get a big kind of house with a grill
cool.
and all that other stuff, so that we've got a centralized base. And then I drive up, my wife drives up, and we bring a lot of supplies. So we're bringing the Zano merch and all that other stuff. So we hunker down.
Well, God willing, I will see you there. But regardless, I will see you later this week for
awesome.
Dam in Amsterdam.
Oh, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just know I will be. When you first see me, I'm exhausted and my breath stinks. I'm warning you of that up front because there's nothing I can do about it.
It's always the case with me. Don't worry about it.
So if the initial interaction is going to be me kind of like half dead with horrible breath, but I'll be okay after I break the fast. So you'll see 2 versions of me.
And I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Hell of an interview. That was your host with the most, Mr. Sally Agorist, aka Sally Mayweather. Where are we at? How do I stop presenting this? There we go. Remove. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay, welcome back to the Subversive Spectrum, episode 33. Look at me all by myself on the stage. Where's Adam? Adam is there. And hopefully you guys can hear me as we have been doing all this last minute changes for tonight, but we've got of course, Rafael LaVerde, Crypto Vigilante in the house, and we're about to actually bring on a very, very special guest, Mr. X, who is Rafael's right-hand man over there at the Crypto Vigilante. So I guess I'm just going to bounce over to the Zoom and give us a quick second here. But yeah, then we'll debrief from that Aaron Day, Sal interview here in just a second. So shout out to all you guys for being live with us. Check out the links in the scrolling ticker there on the bottom. And let's go. So adding Adam to the stage, and I'm going to jump off. You ready, Adam? Let's go.
There we go. Wrong one.
All right. So here's an idea. What if I'm on stage here through StreamYard, and I still have this Zoom call running in the background, so at least they can hear through my mic. Mr. X is in the house. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Post in the chat if you can hear me. Somebody text me. But yeah, I'm back here. Sound is back. All right, sound is back. So we're figuring this all out last minute, but thank you guys for bearing with us. We're doing it live, as they say. So let's freaking go. Mr. X is in the building. You see his avatar on the screen. He's a guy who supposedly, I think I've heard that I met him one time, but It's because you guys removed me from the stage. Is that what happened? Now we're back. I don't know. But damn. All right. I keep spitting super hot fire and then I get cut off. That's just my luck. So anyway, all right. Let me tell you guys, Mr. X for the third time is the guy if you want to, get yourself up to speed on crypto privacy, operational security, all that stuff that Rafael was talking about. So never remove Alex Vidal. Yeah, thanks, Carl. I don't know who removed me, but Mr. X is in the building. Without further ado, he is Rafael's right-hand man over there, Crypto Vigilante, and you guys are in for a treat with both of these guys in the same room. So thank you for being here, Mr. X. Let's try this one more again. Awesome. Let's get some thumbs up confirmations in the chat that you guys could hear Mr. X. That's the big thing right now. Yes, you guys could hear me, but can you hear Mr. X just now? That's the thing. So let's get Rafael back on the screen. Raf, say something about your partner in crypto here, Mr. X. Damn.
And
they're
keeping
saying they can't hear you. Adam, is there something we can do to get the Zoom the Zoom audio, or do we just
if we put him on stage here, maybe.
Yeah. How would you do that?
In StreamYard, I mean.
Okay. No, he can't. He can't join via StreamYard directly.
Okay. 1 second. Apologies, guys. Bear with us.
Yeah. Raf, I think you're back on stage here on StreamYard. They can hear you now. They should be able to. All right. So, yeah, continue. Sorry, where you left off. We do hear Adam, Alex, and I think Raf, but just not X yet. So let's figure that out. In the meantime, Raf, introduce X since they can't hear him yet.
Well, Mr. X is someone that I used to really look up to in the early days of Bitcoin, and I still do. He's an expert in operational security and someone that really champions fungible digital gold, digital cash, and he's the guy that introduced me to Monero in the very early days of Monero. So I'm just really happy that he's here, and I'm really happy that he's part of the Crypto Vigilante team. And hopefully you guys can hear him today.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the updates from the back channel. So, yeah, let's maybe try again, Mr. X. Again, thanks for being here, and sorry for all this trouble, but can we just get like a mic check 1, 2, 3 from your side?
Yeah, hearing you. Let's.
Thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear X. I don't know if we've changed anything yet on our end, but hopefully we're going to get a miracle.
I'm up on my phone here and see, is the audio coming through? Hang on.
Yeah, I could have tested that too. Anyway, while we try to get Mr. X's audio ported through, his mic is too low. So they could hear Mr. X, but the mic was low? Is that what they're saying? All right, hopefully. Let's see, hold on.
We can't hear him. It's a little low though. Can we boost the audio, Alex?
Thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear X. I don't know if we've changed anything yet on our end, but hopefully we're gonna get a miracle. Check. All right. Let's just get this party started. Yeah. Mr. X is hopefully going to be a part of it. But either way, we do have the guy, Rafael LaVerde, here. So, Raf, is there anything that you took away from that Aaron Day interview with Sal? What was the main piece that sticks out while I put you on the spot here?
Well, I think that Aaron Day and Sal both represent what the world really needs now, which is a way out of financial slavery. So as we've been talking about how, through all of the events that have happened in crypto, and we see a lot of institutional money coming in, there is a yearning for people to still embrace Bitcoin in a way that is oriented towards freedom. And the privacy coin networks, the
Awesome. Let's get. Raf, Raf. Yeah, I'm seeing you on the screen, but I'm not getting your audio through. Let me try removing you and re-adding you real quick. Sorry. All right. You there? Yeah. I think so. Let's see. All right. You there? No. Your sound isn't. His sound. Rap's sound isn't coming through on the stream now, guys.
You know what? You know what's happening? His audio is probably routing to Zoom still.
Yeah,
That's
it
probably
might
what's
be because
happening.
it's routing you still through Zoom. Can you hang up on Zoom, Raf? It might be because it's routing you. Yeah. Mr. X, we might have to do it without you, unfortunately. It seems.
Apologies.
I know you were kind of sick, and you were doing us a favor, so we appreciate it, though. But me and Adam are here, and let's. We had Raf working on StreamYard earlier, so now that Raf, why don't you leave Zoom? Why don't you close the Zoom, and then we'll just try this like we were before. You there? Check, Raf.
Yeah, his audio's gone.
Should I? Let me remove him and then I'll add him back.
Yeah, cool.
All right. This is wild.
Apologies, guys. Stick with us. We're nearly there.
All right. Raf, say the alphabet backwards like you're getting pulled over. And they're trying to see. All right, cool. Now I can't hear Raf.
Cool. We're gonna leave the stream the Zoom call as well.
Yeah, I should, I guess.
All right. Can you hear me?
All right.
Alex?
Let's see here. Well, the Subversive Spectrum, episode 33, with me and Adam right now. We had the Crypto Vigilante in the house. We're going to try to get him back. Let me pull up these show notes. Adam, why don't you pull up the show notes and see if there's anything that you can pull up. And I'll see if we can get some memes, top memes of the week from Sally Mayweather's account.
Speaking of which, go to agorathreads.com for all your libertarian merch, guys. Mugs, t-shirts.
Nope, still not hearing him.
Pens.
This, at least the people are entertained, they're saying. Let's see. Adam, you there? You want to go
can you hear me?
to the show notes?
Can you hear me?
Dude, now I can't even hear Adam. It's just the Alex show.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mr. X. Yeah,
What
we
a
got
nightmare. You see, this is why Sal can't go out of the country. He needs to stay in
Put him
the
on
US
stage.
of A.
There we go. We got Mr. X in now.
All right, it seems like StreamYard is finally working for me for the very first time.
Alex,
Can you guys hear me?
Quality
Yeah,
time with my boy Alex. Hope y'all are feeling good, feeling great.
I don't know
How
if
are
you
you, Mr. X? Everybody is up here, but I can't hear anybody. So
Can you hear me? Hello?
yeah, we have X.
Rafael, can you hear me?
I
Okay,
can't hear
awesome.
you guys.
I can't
Oh,
hear
yeah,
Rafael though.
we have X on the feed, but I can't.
I can't hear Rafael though.
X. Rafael, can you hear me? Nope.
Okay, awesome. I can't hear Rafael though. I can't hear
All
Rafael.
right.
Should I leave? I'm gonna leave.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. I can't hear you, Raf. You're muted.
Yeah, Rafael's. I can't hear him.
All right. Am I back? Can you guys hear me? Yes.
All right. Guys, we're going to end it real quick. We'll be right back. We're just going to figure this out. Apologies.
This is so funny.
Yeah. No, just...
Where's the music?
Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. With your host, Sally Mayweather.
What do we do? Get rid of who? Mr. X off the stage? Yeah, but Raph, I can't hear anybody. Should I close?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I'm.
Oh my god.
I can hear you.
Let's go. The Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Yeah. You already know. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. Let's go. Welcome to the Subversive Spectrum with your host, Sally Mayweather. With your host, Sally Mayweather.
All right, guys. Apologies. We're having some technical difficulties figuring it out here. Bear with us 1 second. Can you all hear me, guys? Thumbs up in the chat. Yeah, I can hear you, Raf. Awesome. So jump back on stage. There we go. Okay.
This is how we do it.
Do
Na
it.
na na na
Can
na.
we get rid of that banner? It's blocking
This
my
is
face.
how we do it. We are so back.
Sorry. It's, there we go.
So all my ladies got much fame. All right, who can hear who?
I can hear everybody. What's up?
Yeah, I can hear everybody.
Yo, BTC is about to break 100,000 on this stream right now.
Wow.
That's what I'm hearing. Is it us?
And what could be?
We're making it happen, bro.
I can't hear
Let's
you
go,
guys through this
Bitcoin.
freaking-
Mr. X, can you unmute
All right.
yourself? We might be able to hear you now. Or do we?
I got the delay because it's not working for me. I'm gonna try another.
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you, Mr. X. What's up? What's
I'll
up?
be right back.
All right, awesome.
You good?
Is the audio working?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's working.
Guys,
It's working.
thumbs up in the chat if you can hear us. Just the last check.
All right, go. You guys talk.
Awesome.
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Yo, Mr. X. So they talked about the.
Yes,
I
everybody's
don't think-
good except.
All right. So.
Yes, everybody's good. Everybody's good.
All right. Good. All right. So,
All right.
Mr. X, let me ask you something. During the conversation between Aaron Day and Sal, they were talking about the algorithmically pegged stable coin. I think it's called FUSD. On that just came out on Xano. What are your thoughts on that? It's
Well,
a privately algo pegged stable coin. What's up? I can't hear you. What's up?
Lose him again.
I think Alex is gone too.
Oh god. You can tell we're professionals here, guys.
I told Alex not to rip that bong before this.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
That was it.
Must have been all that meth he smoked earlier.
Jeez, Alex.
Where'd he go? Mr. X, can you still hear us?
Alex is like he is the personification of what's happening in BTC right now.
At least it's working for me now the
He's
way I
gone.
need it to.
I can't hear
so
Mr. X either. It's all
right. Let's go. I'm a personification of what, Biat?
Of BTC right now.
They're trying to shut
Dude.
us down. That's what's happening.
They're trying to shut us down, bro.
That's a burn. That's a burn. All right.
Why,
guys,
bro?
everybody in the
100K?
chat.
Like, come on, man. Like, you should be celebrating, Alex.
Celebrating? Yeah, if I still had BTC. Hashtag Free Roger. Please interview Chris Dwayne, the legend in silver. I don't know
Let's
who
go.
that is, but the Silver Sailor Plan. Shout out to you. Shout out to, let's see, Shut It Down says Card Dexter. Shut it down.
No, we're not fucking leaving, okay?
We're not
We're not
fucking
leaving. I want to fight
6K,
for it.
6K,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's go.
All
Let's
right,
go.
I think we had Mr. X. Do
Yeah,
we
I
have
think we've
Mr. X?
lost him, unfortunately. No, he's not been speaking. So I think we're gonna
guys
call
are
it on the
retreating.
guest, unfortunately. If you want to take him off stage there, and we'll get back to it. Apologies, guys.
All good. An attempt was made. We're gonna definitely bring Mr. X back on the show once Sal comes back and whips us all back into shape when he gets back in town. Until then,
What's
we're
up?
taking over. We're taking
You're
over.
stuck
So,
with us, guys. Sorry.
Let's do it. We'll
um,
bring him back. We'll bring him back some other time.
quick shout out to Crypto Steel. I think we've got something to show you guys, but Crypto Steel has an amazing crypto steel wallet, right? Where you can actually store your seed phrase in an unpenetrable, undestroyable way.
Yeah,
You guys have
made
probably
from-
seen Sal and
yeah.
Adam tried to destroy it back in the day. You know, they make one of those cool things where it's fireproof and, you know, it can totally explode and
Best
your
day of
seed
my
phrase
life.
will be protected. So we have a deal at salviagoras.com/cryptosteel if you want to check that out. The BTC conference. Let's go ahead and get this quick little ad queued up, because if you guys are planning on going to the Bitcoin conference 2025, are you going, Raf? Do you know where it is?
The Bitcoin conference, the BTC conference in Vegas.
Yep, that's the one.
No, no.
Well,
I got ninjas on the ground though. I got a bunch of ninjas on the ground.
Nice.
Giving me the alpha in real time. I don't need to go there.
We've got 10% off with coupon code SAL if you plan on attending. Of course, it's the biggest Bitcoin conference of the year. So let us show you a quick promo on that so that you can get excited about your 10% discount for the Bitcoin conference. Here we go. Again, that's coupon code, what is it? SAL 2025.
SAL 2025, yeah.
Yeah, SAL 2025. It's been scrolling across the bottom of the screen all night long. So we've also got a coupon code for the Crypto Vigilante membership, which you guys heard a little bit about from Raf. You were going to hear about it from Mr. X, but we'll get him back on. But the Crypto Vigilante membership, we actually have a quick little ad I'm going to run for that as well. And that has a coupon code for also 10% off, and it's just SAL. So here is the Crypto Vigilante.
Now we are dealing with a possible world war. Some will say we are already in a world war. My condolences and prayers go out to everyone suffering under tyranny. It really sucks. I'm really sorry. But it seems as if people are starting to wake up regarding crypto more and more each day. And so it's in the description right here to read, where we give our secret sauce and what we teach our subscribers, because things are just that bad. You know, everyone needs this information. People need to know about sound cryptocurrencies that are actually private by default, and to know how to properly use crypto.
That's right.
That's right.
Save 10%, coupon code SAL. And man, let me ask, I'm going to challenge Rafael, since we were really hyping Mr. X up. If you can sort of do your best Mr. X impression. See, it's not going to be the same, because the best thing about these guys is that they often butt heads, as maybe you guys didn't hear me say when my audio was cutting out. But I used to have the privilege of, when I worked closely with them on their team, to be a part of just conversations between the three of us sometimes, and I would hear them arguing back and forth about the nerdiest crypto stuff that more than half of it would go over my head, but I would soak in and I would learn, and that's what I thought you guys were going to be treated to tonight. But we're gonna have to try it again. Sal, if we're not all fired after tonight, we'll see. But no, Raf is the first guest to actually be returned on the show, actually on the same day, as Aaron Day. So Aaron Day, which we weren't sure if we were going to have that video, because Sal got it to us last minute, but we did get to see that interview. And then Raf and Aaron Day, the first two guests to come back on the show for a second time. And Raf doing it as a co-host with us. So this has been really fun. Yeah, I mean, geez, with all the technical stuff, the time has flown by, and
it's already derailed there a little, but
yeah. So
we still appreciate you guys joining us. I see the numbers still ticking up here. So welcome in, guys. Anyone that's just joining us.
Rock on. Before I challenge Adam to go to anything from the show notes or the weekly sort of current events that we may or may not touch on. Let me just go to Raf, and what I was going to say is, if you can challenge yourself to sort of do your best, either if you want to do sort of a Mr. X sort of, I think they did kind of hear him for a little bit, but just kind of give us a little bit of an understanding of why you and him are, the guys that lead the Crypto Vigilante.
Well, I was going to do an impression of him, but I think you guys heard him. He uses a voice disguiser anytime he talks on the phone, so it sounds something like, "Hey guys, how are you? I love Monero." That's pretty much Mr. X in a nutshell. And yeah, he's a cool dude. I mean, our team is pretty eclectic. Like I said, we're all Bitcoin OGs, and we do this because we love to do this, and we want to stay sharp, and we just are. This is our vocation. So Mr. X is a digital cash maximalist, and for him, the most important thing is having privacy by default at the protocol level, because that is the only way you have true fungible digital cash. And so that's like his go-to, and I think the world is finally catching up, and we see how Monero is performing well in the markets, and how the Monero community is becoming the safe haven for for everyone that actually needs to use crypto in a way that respects their sovereignty. So it's a good dynamic, and I think beyond that, the Crypto Vigilante focuses on making money and preserving your wealth. So our personal opinions of crypto when it comes to the actual fundamentals of the cryptocurrency, they're important in teaching you what is important about crypto, what it is that we're talking about. But there are aspects of crypto, there are aspects to Bitcoin that regard more of preserving your wealth and using these cryptocurrencies as investment vehicles to profit and make more money. So we really focus on that, and I think from in the recent times, that has been what our subscribers have enjoyed most about the Crypto Vigilante, that emphasis, and beyond that, the emphasis on precious metals and the overall market that we get from the Dollar Vigilante. That is extremely valuable, because our subscribers don't only get a very eclectic, well-rounded perspective on cryptocurrency, but they also get to see how cryptocurrency um, best sits within a world of investing that comes from an Austrian economics perspective. So it's it's not just crypto for its sake, but it's also crypto with an understanding of the overall market and how to position yourself as an investor within that overall framework.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is so important. You know, the holistic. You know, everybody is just coming at it from their singular like angle, and that's what's so valuable about that. You know, the power of that. Those three pillars of operation, OPSEC, fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and then the fact that you're always butting heads with your own team. You didn't surround yourself with an echo
Oh,
chamber.
you have to. You have
Right.
to. You're supposed to, because the worst thing that has happened in crypto history and in general in all of crypto, wherever you go in crypto, is that hasn't been fostered. You go to different crypto communities and they're very tribal. So the entire crypto space is very tribal. So it's very good to see. It's very good for real good to see that we have a network at the Crypto Vigilante where we have every analyst coming to embrace the crypto space from a different perspective. So it is not an echo chamber. We definitely don't waste time on things that are fluff, but it's we because we want to respect the space, but we do open up to dialogue freely about those things that are most important. So we have big blockers, small blockers. We even have tiny blockers now, right? Because there's a civil war happening in BTC between small blockers and tiny blockers, and so having those discussions within an environment that is respectful, where everyone is welcome to disagree with one another, is very healthy. And what has happened over the years is that this environment has created an atmosphere where we really find ourselves becoming smarter in embracing the entire space, because we have as an individual you can't really embrace the totality of crypto. Crypto is multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary, so no one person can be an expert at marketing, at memetics, at technical analysis, fundamental analysis at the same time for them to be able to be a cryptographer that understands cryptography and what tools to actually use when and where and how to best vet a blockchain. Like, you really need a team for this. And we were able to put together, in my opinion, the most all-star badass team. And you can get a taste of it if you sign up for our free newsletter at cryptovigilante.io. If you want to join the newsletter, if you want to join the newsletter, the paid newsletter, which is where all the meat is, with almost daily technical analysis from the guys that first charted Bitcoin in the Bitcoin Talk forums, you get a 10% discount with cryptovigilante.io/Sal, SAL, in honor of our host who's not here, Sal the Agorist. So yeah, it's an environment that is very unique. And I honestly don't know of another environment like that in crypto. And I honestly don't know how other people do it in crypto, because you don't know who to trust in crypto. That's the real problem in crypto. You don't know who to trust. And the fact that, we have people that are out in the open like myself and Jeff Berwick, our reputations are on the line, and you guys can hold us accountable in making sure that we're giving you guys our best in teaching you about these technologies and these markets and providing you guys with the most objective research possible. Our goal is to be as objective as possible regarding all of these networks and all of these crypto investments that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, you mentioned when we were talking about this last minute, helping us co-host, you're like, should I invite Jeff? I'm like, hell yeah, but wait, no. Imagine if he was here for this shit show trying to deal with it with us. No, we're going to definitely get Jeff Berwick on as, an interview with Sal in the hopefully near future. That would be incredible. But no, it's incredible. Like, it's one of those things, the TCV membership or the service, whatever you guys offer, it's really a community, right? Because I was going to say, it's one of those things where some people, like, you find out like what you get right when you join, right? Because immediately when you become a member, you get access to like all of their reports that go back, for years since the
decades now.
Yeah, since it's launched. Decades? No, it's been like 5 years?
Well, that's the Crypto Vigilante, but the Dollar Vigilante, right, which told their subscribers to buy Bitcoin at like $2, that extends back to 2011, and we have all of that archived. So it's
that's right.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like, you don't know who to trust on the internet. I look at commercials on the internet now, and I'm like, can I even trust? Like, is this even a person, or is this some sort of agent? Has that happened to you, Adam?
Literally, it was an AI thing. I get a YouTube ad that keeps popping up, and it's like some AI guy, and he's like saying, I'm the only person who publishes all my trades or whatever. And I'm like, this is literally a fake guy. And he's literally giving me.
It's really hard to distinguish now.
Yeah, it's wild.
Scary.
What I was going to say is that people will join the TCV because, they want access to like the latest newsletter sometimes, right? That came out. And then like, it's one of those things where you think you're going to get access to a bunch of stuff right when you join. So then, you can just cancel after and you've got all the resources, right? But then when they join the Telegram group, that is when you realize, like, holy crap, this is a whole nother ongoing, real-time, live, like, community that is, like, on the pulse 24/7 around the clock from all over the world, a few thousand people in there that, are learning from each other, even, and then discussing all the content you guys put out. And it's just a community of the level of scrutiny that I've never seen anywhere else in crypto, right? Other than like maybe the Monero community itself. But that even within
Monero, if you go to a Monero forum, they only talk about Monero and everything else is a shitcoin. Right. So for us, it's like, it's been really hard for me personally, because I've had to move from, like, I've really have had to step up my game a lot over time, where the Crypto Vigilante, we have had like this ongoing discussion on very important and intelligent high level topics, but then this thing just sideswiped me, which was, wait a minute, we have to take into account, was like my big revelation about 3 years ago, which was, we live in a world of stupid people that are NPCs, people that don't know anything about this, and people that have been indoctrinated to follow orders and not think for themselves. And they are the ones that are now coming into crypto. Their opinions and their outlooks matter. Therefore, their perspective has to be incorporated within our assessment of the space. And that to me was shocking because I realized that at that point in time, Bitcoin and crypto graduated to mainstream. And when it graduated to mainstream, now you have to, the money coming into crypto is money that that comes with all of these antics and way of thinking. So it's and so for example, someone in the comic section just talked about how privacy breeds corruption. You see, like that right there is a topic of conversation of which I can put on a hat and agree with that person. And I can put on the other hat and say, well, you know what? I can argue for the opposite. The reality is that these technologies are just all tools to be used by individuals, and there will be good people using these tools and bad people using these tools. And in between, you know, all across whatever spectrum, there will be, these are just tools. You know, you can kill someone with a hammer, or you can build a house with a hammer. So yeah, so I value transparency in blockchains. I also value privacy in blockchains. I value both. It's not an either or, it's both and. They're all different tools to be used in their proper place. So for example, we were talking about Zeno. Zeno has great use cases, but I also see value in transparent blockchains. Now, Mr. X and other analysts don't see as much value in transparent blockchains. I do, because there are some use cases in the market where you need transparency to hold people accountable. So these are all just use cases, guys, for different people. And so our goal at the Crypto Vigilante is to really present all of these things and for you guys to personalize your experience in real time. So that's really our goal. Our goal is one of like education. And so since Bitcoin and crypto in the innovation of it has sped up exponentially, we're at the point now where a monthly newsletter and a weekly TA is almost not enough because things are that fucking crazy. So we're at the point now where we have to be, as analysts, readily available for questions in real time at the whenever, because things happen out of nowhere and there's new innovation now. People are using AI to even develop code, even if they're not coders themselves, if they're not programmers themselves. Creating apps is readily available to everyone now through AI. So the development of crypto and the adoption of crypto is exponential at this point, and people are beginning to experience future shock, which is the idea that they're becoming overwhelmed by all of this technology. You know, that's what. Have you guys heard of the term future shock?
Yeah.
I recommend reading Alvin Toffler. He's a big proponent of this. He's the guy that came up with this term, and it's the idea that technology is going to be growing so fast that you're not even going to know. It's going to be nauseating. It's going to be really hard to keep up, and we're already there. And so, if you're just someone coming into crypto, and it's just overwhelming. I do not know how people do it, and I've seen it happen in various communities where there's someone who gains the trust of the community, and then before you know it, the community starts realizing like, oh shit, this guy is actually using us as exit liquidity. That is something very common, and people get upset because of that. And it's something sad, man. It really is sad. But when you have a team, see, this is the difference. When you have a team where the team all disagrees, which is the dynamic of TCV, and everyone, all of the analysts come at crypto from different perspectives, and they're all tackling different topics in crypto. And the bottom line is to preserve capital, to preserve value, and also to make money. Then it doesn't matter what your preferred crypto network is. What matters is to look out for the well-being of the environment you're in, to always strive for objectivity as much as possible. And there goes my example that all of a sudden I found myself like, okay, our conversation is very high level, but now we have to take into account all of this money that's coming into crypto through Wall Street, for example, and ETFs. People that are completely illiterate about Austrian economics, people that don't care about the liberty movement, people that are just of a completely different mindset. And you have to take into account these NPCs coming in and their mindset, because they affect the market, and what they choose affects the market as well. So you have to factor everything in, even the stupidity of the masses now. And that to me has been a challenge, but it's been really good to have the team that I have that has been able to watch my back in making sure that we're, the dynamic we have always focus on being as objective as possible. And so it's just crazy to me how many winning trades, like, for example, our technical analysts have, like, all the time. They're calling things as it happens, way before anyone in the market knows about it. Because even within the analysts, you'll notice that there's even like a healthy competition as to like figuring out the market and figuring out insights and realizing things about the market before even the other analysts on the team, which creates a very healthy environment. And I've had people come up to me in conferences, for example, like the last one I went to, this girl came up to me and she's like, Raf, what you guys told us on the newsletter about 2 months ago is now just something that my friends are finally talking about. And you guys helped us prepare for this major market shift that we just experienced way back then. So in public, and when I talk in places outside of the Crypto Vigilante, I don't talk about my investment thesis or anything like that. I may champion certain crypto networks that I personally like, but for instance, as an investor, my secret sauce is the Crypto Vigilante, and that is, and it's really because I have a badass team, and it's my honor to offer that badass team to you guys, so that you guys can nourish yourself from this community. We meet twice a year at Anarchapulco and now at Librepulco in Europe. Anarchapulco happens in Mexico, and it's kind of like a homecoming every year. It's really awesome, dude. And I'm just very blessed to be part of this crypto and Bitcoin journey, and to have the badass team that I've been able to form with Jeff Berwick of analysts, and to be able to share them with you guys. That to me is what's most important. And here with Sally Agris as our affiliate partner, we want to bring this to Sal's audience as well. And I look forward to you guys having different members of our team sitting down with you guys and giving you guys their perspective, because my perspective is just one perspective. Yes, I am the face of the organization, but I'm not the I'm not the brain of the organization. The brain of the organization is all of the analysts coming together. That is where the power is. Not just me. I'm just one of the many dudes. And unfortunately today we couldn't have Mr. X on, but hopefully you'll have him on some other time. Ed Bugos, Jeff Berwick, Mr. A, Mr. W, Mr. P, Mr. Z. Like, we have a rock star fucking team, dude. Like, and these guys in early Bitcoin history, they were very influential people, but they've changed their names for security reasons, because these guys do it for the love of it. That's the coolest part. They do it because not that they need it. They're in love with crypto and it. And one of them once mentioned, "No, dude, I love doing this because it keeps me sharp. Otherwise, I'd be retired, sitting around and I can only go golfing so many times a week, right? Like I stay sharp, So it's cool. It's really cool. And to be able to offer this to the world, and knowing that we're in an age now where, like, people need that human contact because of not knowing what the heck is going on with all of this, with all these machines taking over everything. The cyborg theocracy is here, right? We are in the cyborg theocracy, and everyone's looking for that. For what they're really thirsting is that human touch. And,
Raf,
come again?
You gonna get the implant?
Hell no, bro. No, I'm human, bro. I'm staying pure blood all day, all day. I'm detoxing all the crap in the air and the water and in the environment all the time, dude. When I go to Anarchapulco, I geek out with the health and wellness people that we bring out, like the best alternative doctors, alternative medicines, shamans. I geek out learning about from them because I'm so into technology that when I finally am around them, I'm a sponge, bro. I consume
Yeah,
all
I
that.
love that stuff too.
Freaking
I just wanted
amazing,
to
dude.
get onto a few more things. We're running out of time here. I wanted to touch on some stuff going on in the news right now. You guys heard Trump's attempting to reopen Alcatraz. Just wanted to get your opinions on that.
That's a
Oh,
meme, bro.
that's why I've been
That's
seeing
yeah.
Alcatraz lately on Twitter. I don't know, dude. Like
Yeah,
Raph was saying, I don't keep
he's
up with the current
suggesting
events
they
as much,
reopen
but
it. It's laughable. I don't see it happening. I just like, why is he just trying to stir shit, piss people off? I have no idea. It's
Raph,
such a
I mean, Sal has a post up. It was a poll of Trump's first 100 days in
yeah, I
office. There was
seen
also
that.
a Libertarian Party put out a grade. They gave him a C,
Okay,
I
you
think,
got
for his first
on
100 days.
on Sal's poll. It's very balanced, to be honest.
Yeah, 29% say decent, 19% excellent, 25% subpar, 25% terrible. So it's pretty much like a quarter across the board. It's
Yeah,
very, very
which is
balanced.
strange
Wait,
to me.
I want to hear your grade, Adam. What do you grade Trump?
Oh, a solid D minus,
D minus.
maybe worse, to be honest. Um,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
Trump doesn't directly affect me on a day to day. Like in his last, term, I was like, I've never voted. I'll never vote. That's just I'm not being part of that. But
Based.
on a day to day, I wasn't like, he's not really affecting me directly. This time he is. Like the cost of everything seems to be going up, and I'm sure there's other factors, but he's definitely he's made a mess of the market right now with the tariffs and whatnot. Just silly.
What about
Yeah, it's crazy.
you, Raph?
I give him a D, solid D. Like, I mean, I for me, who really runs the world now is crypto and Bitcoin. Bitcoin is and crypto is what won him the election to begin with, and I think Biden won because he was able to steal it because of FTX. You guys remember how much FTX got in cahoots with the Democratic Party?
Yeah.
During that election. Well, that's where they got their energy. The
You
world
hear
is revolving
something-
around the blockchain, guys. It's being
Yeah,
consumed
you hear
by
something
it.
crazy? FTX. I found there was fortune cookies with on your fortune cookie. It was FTX. I kept seeing this pop up about back when that was all hype. But it
Oh
was like
yeah,
the
they had
weirdest
it.
place to advertise. I was finding it in fortune cookies. Yeah.
Yeah, and the FTX tells us the story of how what the masses think is impossible to happen can actually happen overnight. So if you're too comfortable in crypto and you think that things that are happening will just continue to be business as usual, let me tell you something. You can be surprised because if you would have told someone a week before the collapse of FTX that FTX was gonna collapse, they would have told you were crazy. But the truth is that it did collapse, and now everyone in hindsight is like, "Yo, of course it collapsed. It makes total sense." Yeah, but before then, if I would have told you I was going to collapse, you wouldn't have agreed with me. You'd have thought I was crazy. And so sometimes I make calls and I say things that to people sound crazy, and so and that goes a lot for our team and what our team has been doing at TCV. But yeah, it's crazy. What do you rate him, Alex? What's your grade for Trump?
I'll go with the Libertarian Party's C grading. I think that's probably fair enough. I try not to get too distracted with the politics. I think entrepreneurship is a way better use of people's time when it comes to even making political change, right? But no, I do admire those who are fighting the good fight in the trenches, in all different angles in terms of trying to bring about liberty in one way or another. But Trump is, to me, the entertainer in chief. He's You know, like Obama was like the first celebrity in chief. And then now we've got that, just like there's no going back. I think you have to be a celebrity now to be a president. I think like it's like the standard has been set.
Yeah,
and,
it set a precedent, you know.
Yeah, we live in a TV, you know, era, post-truth now with all this stuff. It's just like, how much attention can you get, right? It's fully an attention economy. And I don't know, man. But we are going to have Brian McWilliams on a future episode. He is the communications chair at the Libertarian Party. And I've been trying to tell Sal it would be fun to get a little bit of a sort of a libertarian versus anarchist debate going. And maybe we'll get our boy Stephen Nikala from down there in the Key West, who's the chairman of the Libertarian Party, because that's always a classic debate.
Get a little spicy in here.
Yeah.
It.
So Sal wished Hal Finney a happy birthday the other day. He posted Hal Finney's picture and he said, "Happy birthday, Satoshi." And he's said this on a previous episode. Hal Finney, you know, the guy that, you know, is most likely Satoshi.
Yeah.
Which
no, he's not. But sure.
Yeah. No, I know. Which is funny.
I'll tell you this. This is my thing on Satoshi. Ready?
Go ahead.
Everyone that people think is Satoshi is not on the Satoshi list. Why? Let me tell you why. Because their thing is, well, Satoshi reached out to them. If you have an inner circle and you have to reach out to anyone, you're only reaching out to those who are outside the inner circle. Get it?
Right.
So Adam Back, all of these guys, Hal Finney, all of these guys, Martin Mulmy, all those guys, he reached out to them. He spoke to them. There's emails correspondence with them. Because why did he reach out to them and try to explain Bitcoin to them and have conversations to them? Because they were not inside his inner circle. If you were inside of his inner circle, he never reached out to you. Do you get it? Okay.
Which you're saying Hal Finney was in his inner circle.
He wasn't, because he reached out to Hal Finney.
Oh, he reached out. But well, I thought Hal Finney was just one of the first people to respond.
Exactly. Because... Right. But why is he? If I go to a forum and I put something out and I'm reaching out to someone, then I start explaining to that person something. That's someone who's outside my inner circle, because my inner circle already knows what I'm working on. Does that make sense?
Right.
They're my homies. They're at home with me.
Right.
I'm not going to waste my time rehashing the same conversations I'm having with them here out there. So no. Anyone Satoshi reached out to and had conversations with out in the open in any forum or any email was not part of Team Satoshi. They were outside of the inner circle.
Right. Okay.
Maybe it's the perfect cover.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. No, well, it's like, you know,
it's like Banksy, you know, he probably had 20 other Banksies, you know.
It'd be like layers of, you know, deception to try to make it seem like he was having conversations with himself. And Hal Finney obviously denied that he was Satoshi. His wife denied it.
Not really, bro. Not really, because there are people who are very close to the architecture of Bitcoin who you never hear people talk about. They're never out there. And I'll give you an example of the two guys who were most quoted in the Bitcoin white paper. They were cited 3 times. Okay, Wei Dai was cited once, Adam Back was cited once, and then some other dude was cited once. But there's 2 dudes, Haber and Stornetta, who are the creators of the first blockchain ever. They were cited 3 times on the Bitcoin white paper. And notice how nobody talks about them.
Yeah,
it's hush. Mum's the word. Mum's the word about those guys. Right. Why? And this is my question to everyone. Anytime someone wants me to focus somewhere, why do they want me to focus in that direction? What are they trying to keep me from looking at in this direction? Whenever someone tells me, hey, bro, you shouldn't study that, or they shame me for even talking about a certain topic, that's what I'm going to go study. That's how you're an independent thinker.
Dude,
and if you're an independent, the key to profit is what I tell my subscribers, I'm going to give you guys, is having differential knowledge. If you don't have differential knowledge, you're just another sheep amongst the masses that will never be profitable because you're just doing and living what others are saying, what they want, what they're feeding you. You have to really think for yourself.
For sure. I knew it was coming. Differential knowledge. He's got all these like coined terms, I feel like, that I only ever heard here from Raph. One of them earlier, fullness of Bitcoin, people were putting in the chat. The other one I heard you drop was, the crypto is a toolbox, different tools for different purposes. Like, there's all these great analogies that you give that some of them don't even really sink in until I hear you say them 10 times. And then it just like clicks one day. But no, I love talking to you, Raph. It's been awesome. I know Adam might be looking at the Russian Alex behind the camera and wondering if they're going to make the in time for wherever they go get their after party beer special at. But one thing, let me pull up that you reminded me was Sal sent me before the show tonight a link that he went back and forth with Craig Wright on Twitter. Let me just see if you guys can see this. Sal posted, whatever. It's got he posted a CBDC meme with my Tank Man background. With the tanks are the CBDCs, and then the Tank Man right there, you can see him, is the Xano logo. So that was the meme that Sal posted. And he triggered a response from Craig Wright's Twitter account, or S. Tomanaga, who is apparently Craig Wright.
That's a comedian, right? He's a comedian now?
Yeah. Who knows? Craig bought 3,000. And they went back and forth a few times, and it's a great thread that I was thinking maybe of reading on the show and getting your guys' reaction. But anyway, we'll save it because Sal actually messaged me. He's like, hey, maybe we can bring Craig on the show. I see he follows you. You should hit him up and invite him. So that would be pretty epic because those interviews don't happen all too often, but they're always entertaining as well. The man who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, or the only man in the world who is legally not Satoshi Nakamoto. How do you square those together? To me, that's pretty eyebrow-raising. But let's see. Anything else we need to cover before we sort of wind down here, you guys? I would go all night here. Especially since we lost a little time here. But shout out to Crypto Steel.
AgoraThreads.com.
It's agorathreads.com. Agorathreads.com for all your Liberty gear, hats, shirts, all that kind of good stuff. Check out Xano.org. We talked about Xano. If you didn't know where to find them, it's a ZANO .org. We've got follow Adam on Twitch, right? Are you going to be
Twitch,
doing some Twitch gaming?
Look, I keep telling guys to follow me. I've not been streaming.
I'm
kind of slacking right now.
Follow him on Twitter then.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter though, guys, at Irish Adam Gaming. You can catch me over there.
Good stuff. Yeah. Of course, check out the Crypto Vigilante. Save 10% with code SAL. If you're planning on going to the Bitcoin 2025 conference
right now
in Las Vegas, save 10% with coupon code SAL2025. And yeah, we're here every Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern time. I think I might be back, if not next week, eventually at some point. And Rafael, I'm sure we'll be back soon too. So this has been really fun, you guys.
Yes, thanks for joining me, guys.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Helping me hold down the fort here while Sal's off fighting the good fight.
It was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed my time.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Raph. Thanks, everybody. Cheers, you guys. We'll see you next week. And on that note, I think we're done here, right? Go do some good in the world, y'all.
Peace, love, anarchy.
Peace.
Have a good night.